Sauber has been posting some of the most shambolic pit stop times ever seen in the sport. To this end, the owners have identified a key Red Bull man to reorganize their pit crew and also lead as team principal. This man, who is solely responsible for getting the Red Bull pit stops under 2 seconds, is about to join the Adrian Newey exodus out of Red Bull. He had joined the Milton Keynes-based team in 2006, the same year Newey made the switch to Red Bull. But for reasons we will explain later in the video, he will now depart the team with his friend. Although Newey was present at the Miami weekend, the designer had no input in the team. Horner confirmed he was not allowed to access data and was prevented from entering their technical meetings. Newey was seen clutching his red book in Miami. All he could do was admire the Ferrari while occasionally dishing out advice to the Red Bull garage. Turns out, we have not seen the end of the fallout from the Horner sex scandal, with Zach Brown accurately predicting that the departure of Newey is just the first domino. Verstappen's father also cried out that Horner's refusal to leave was going to tear the team apart, and it seems both men were right. A lot of people within the team are still unhappy, and one of them has decided to further his ambitions elsewhere. The man in question is Jonathan Wheatley. He understands that Horner is getting rather too powerful, and if Newey can be phased out, it might only be a matter of time before he is also shown the door. Instead of waiting for when Red Bull would discard him, Wheatley has decided to leave and lead his own team, a team that down the line could start challenging Red Bull for the title. Wheatley is a crucial part of the Red Bull setup, and some have argued that he is just as important as Newey. To underline how highly Red Bull rates him, at the height of the sex scandal, he was going to be promoted to replace Horner should he be found guilty. This highlights his credentials as a team principal material. Today, we're here to inform you that he has decided to leave Red Bull. And even though Alpine is interested, we will explain to you why Sauber is his perfect fit. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification. Welcome to Front Lockout. Wheatley heads to Sauber, a marriage made in heaven. There are two key ingredients in the makeup of a team principal. The first is that the person has to have sound technical knowledge of the car, and the other part is that the fella needs to understand the sporting regulations. Wheatley, who has been with Red Bull for 18 years, has first-hand knowledge of these two key areas. Before his appointment to Red Bull in 2006, he was the chief mechanic at Benetton. This technical knowledge is also complemented by his role at Red Bull, where he is the one who liaises with FIA inside and outside race weekends. More so, Red Bull regularly posts pit stops time of under 2 seconds, an achievement Wheatley is responsible for. This comes in handy for a Sauber team, which sometimes posts over 50 seconds pit stops. However, Wheatley has other outstanding characteristics that are central to being a successful team principal, but are not as easily measured with numbers or data. The man is an extremely likable character and will pay just as much attention to his drivers as he will to the coffee lady. This has caught the attention of a team like Alpine, whose operations is in disarray. Alpine is interested in Wheatley as they intend to leverage his unifying characteristics. The French team essentially runs two different operations, where their French and British engineers are in a superiority battle, a situation which has seen the team become the worst team on the grid. But the problem with Alpine is that they are too quick to dump their team executives, and someone who values longevity will think twice about making such move. This, we believe, is why Wheatley will not take Alpine so seriously. Audi CEO Andrea Seidel, a former team principal himself, sees Wheatley as the ideal choice to lead the new team. Audi can draw some parallel with Red Bull, an ambitious team entering the grid that is trying to dominate as soon as possible. This is very similar to how Wheatley helped build Red Bull during its inception in 2005 and turned around their fortunes into the most dominant force in the sport's history. His grass-to-grace ability is what Audi hopes the man will bring to their team, but the advantages of having such a man doesn't end there. He has first-hand knowledge of the RB19 and RB20 and will surely be instructing the technical team at Audi on exactly how to replicate the successes of the Red Bull cars instead of making some wild guesses. The advantages of having a man who helped build such impressive cars can never be overemphasized. There is a big difference between having a team principal like Wolff, who has a business degree, compared to a Wheatley, who is not only a mechanic, but has helped build the best machines the sport has ever seen. As Audi prepares to enter the 2026 grid, key ingredients are still missing. Although the team has been making ambitious plans, like signing Nico Hülkenberg to a multi-year deal, as well as bringing in other technical staff, they are still missing the key man to bring it all together. While Horner's sex scandal has torn Red Bull apart, it doesn't seem these departures will affect them in the short term, and they are open to letting Wheatley leave. On the upside, their technical director, Pierre Wache, the man who was Newey's understudy for years and who has been largely credited for being the brain behind the RB19 and RB20, extended his contract with the team till 2028. We will continue to monitor the Red Bull exodus for you. Leave us your thoughts. This is Front Lockout, signing off.